And I actually like the being able to like turn into different animals. I think that that's pretty cool. And I'm not even a furry. Okay, just to make that clear. All right, just because you can turn into different animals and be a druid does not make you a furry. All right.
I totally believe you, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, I was looking for somebody that I trust to give me a review of Throne and Liberty. Lazy Peon started in Black Desert Online, okay? And he's since grown like way beyond it, right? But like, and I would say that on the whole, Lazy Peon's a pretty negative reviewer. He errs on the side of being more negative with a lot of his content. So like, I'm curious what Throne and Liberty's beta just ended. We have the actual release just around the corner. I'm curious if it's actually going to be worth playing. I'm going to play it for sure. I'm just curious what his thoughts are on this.
Arguably the biggest upcoming MMORPG release of the year and will be available
I haven't reacted to Daily Dose of the Internet because I just haven't thought about it in a while.
to play on Steam, Xbox and PlayStation on September 17th, 2024.
Is Throne and Liberty cross-platform? Do the Xbox players play with the PC players, play with the PlayStation players? Or do just the PC and the PC players play on their own, and then the PlayStation and the Xbox play on their own? Oh wow, so everyone plays together. That's a W, Throne and Liberty.
If you haven't heard of Throne and Liberty before, this is a free-to-play fantasy MMORPG developed by NCSoft, with its Western
Featuring Hercules.
publisher being Amazon Game Studios. This is a game that's attempting to be the modern spiritual successor to Lineage 2, which means, yes, a heavy emphasis on large-scale PvP. I know you're thinking about clicking off this video right now. Don't do it.
Stop it.
I know the words Korean MMO, Amazon Game Studios, and
Well, honestly, I think that like a large part of the PvP population of BDO wasn't really looking at it. Like they were looking at Throne and Liberty, then they were like, nah, it's not that great. Now they're like, oh my god, Throne and Liberty's like that. It's like that girlfriend walking down the street meme. A lot of PvPers are looking to make this jump.
all mentioned together in a short space of time sounds bad, but let's be honest, almost all MMOs nowadays are bad. But
Fucking holy shit. True.
we still play them anyway. Let's just try to figure out how bad, because if it's only slightly bad, then the game could still be fun,
he showed Blue
thanks to the
Protocol shit
euphoric
like that.
feeling of new MMO dopamine. Throne and Liberty is set in a vast, fully open world that emphasizes exploration through various ways of traversing the terrain via shapeshifting. The combat is tab targeting, and the battlefields are dynamic, influenced by real-time changes in weather, time of day, and player interactions. The game offers a decent variety of both PvE and PvP content. On the PvE side of things, you've got challenging dungeons, open world bosses, dynamic events and instanced solo boss challenges, as well as questing, professions, achievement hunting, and all the usual jazz you'd expect from an MMO.
Let's be honest, the real reason we're all excited about it is an MMO that isn't like completely garbage. It looks like a polished MMO that's actually releasing. So we're all going to play it for like 1 or 2 months, and then we're going to go back to the shit that we were playing before anyway.
As for PvP
It's sad, but it's true.
content, the game has open world PvP, 1v1 duels, open world PvP limited events, guild vs guild battles, and the ultimate end game in the form of
I'd love
castle
to shot call
sieges,
for shit
which
like this,
offer
bro. This shit-
large-scale warfare where groups fight to control a massive
This shit looks like baller to shot call for. Like,
fortress. I had the chance to check out Throne and Liberty for its Korean release, and I very quickly had strong opinions about the game. My first impressions vid is definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it already, but in this video we'll take a deep dive into the game and ultimately try to answer the question, will Throne and Liberty be a success or failure? But
I think it will be a failure, but mainly because it's got too many bots and it's too pay to win. It's way too far over the pay to win line, and it's just got way too many bots. But like, I think the rest of the systems in the game will actually maintain a relatively strong player base.
So to figure out if TL will be a success or failure in the West, let's first look at how things went for its Korean
Oh, let's not. Oh no. Oh, let's not look at. Oh god.
release. Throne and Liberty's Korean release was bumpy to say the least. It was received so poorly by their domestic player base that the NCSoft stock price plummeted by 12% on the day of release. And this is what some players and the press
Bro, imagine you work for years on a game, you finally build up to this game release, and then your stock loses fucking 12% on the day that it releases. What are we talking about?
had to say about the game.
I myself have insomnia. I just played the TL quest for 10 minutes and fell asleep.
NC is a game company that selects good games, right? LOL. They only make this because pigs and dogs play it LOL.
Aside from the fact that
That's offensive. We are all going to play it.
there are individual
And then probably shit on it.
differences in graphics, gameplay, etc. When you first look at it, it smells like a mobile game. I think it will come out on mobile next year. Haha.
When I first
There's no whoa.
started,
Like a mobile game. I think it will come out on mobile next year. Haha.
Oh no.
when I first started it, I went to town and saw that the computer was screaming. The controls were so weird, and the characters were intermittent, so I immediately deleted it.
I don't I don't mind that the computer's screaming. I don't mind that. It is probably going to be graphics card intensive. But like, and I actually like the being able to like turn into different animals. I think that that's pretty cool. And I'm not even a furry. Okay, just to make that clear. All right, just because you can turn into different animals and be a druid does not make you a furry. All right. Asmon does not like the fact that you can turn into animals in the game. I thought that was an L take. I love that.
So yeah, not off to a good start, but what's with the overly negative reaction towards the game? Is it genuinely bad, or is there more to it? Well, one reason for the poor early reception of Throne and Liberty could be NC Soft's
Shut up, Etsu. Etsu, what are you even doing in here? I'm not even in the video category. Go support one of your streamers. What are you doing?
reputation in Korea. Korean MMO players often have different opinions from us Western MMO players, but both groups share a common distrust for the likes of NCSoft. This company was once beloved for creating popular games like Lineage, City of Heroes, and Guild Wars. However, in recent years, NCSoft has damaged its reputation by releasing low-quality, pay-to-win mobile MMOs, which understandably has angered the MMORPG community. As a result, this negative sentiment towards NC
Yeah, but look how much money they're making, though. Yeah, but money.
Soft likely contributed to the lukewarm reception of Throne and Liberty, as players were skeptical about the game's quality as well as the company's commitment to delivering a great gaming experience. So what does the game actually offer?
My biggest problem with TL when I watched Asmon play it was it does look really boring for the first like X amount of levels. And it's going to lose a lot of players because it doesn't just come out and grip you. You know what I mean? Like the story doesn't come out and grip you. There's nothing in the game that's really just like, oh my God, yeah, I want to explore that more. You know what I mean? In BDO, it's like you first dive into like your combat, you look at the skill tree, you're like, oh my God, I can do this, I can do that. Oh my God, it's crazy. It's a slow burn in Throne and Liberty. I'm going to give it its fair shake, though.
After spending a few hours watching videos from Throne and Liberty content creators, here's what I've learned. The game is very grindy, which honestly shouldn't bother most fans of sandbox MMOs, as the thought of slaying boars for thousands of hours to get to the next level is ingrained in our blood. This may, however, be off-putting to fans of theme park MMOs, who typically prefer progression to mostly come in the form of a narrative-driven linear MSQ. The mass PvP in the game tends to be very chaotic, which leads to the same outcome on every server.
I love this. Let me shot call for some large scale PvP and Throne and Liberty. I'ma eat.
The most powerful guilds form alliances and completely dominate the smaller, scattered guilds. This dominance makes open world PvP frustrating and unenjoyable for most players.
Is it just a Zerg fest? Be honest with me. They hype up the open world PvP. Is it literally just who has more guild alliance? Is it a Zerg fest? Because like if it's a Zerg fest, it's cooked.
This means that smaller guilds and solo players have little chance of competing or enjoying the PvP aspect of the game. As a result, the open world PvP experience becomes miserable for everyone except the dominant alliance. To be fair though, the devs are trying to fix this, and they've recently introduced various changes that try to mitigate the zerging by completely reworking how the guild vs guild system works.
What a concept. Guys, it took them all of like, I don't know, 3 days. Look at this. Took BDO 7 years to get to that.
reworking how
That's
the guild
crazy.
versus guild system works, and by assigning players to random factions during open world bosses, regardless of which guild they're in. The combat in Throne and Liberty is at best average, especially when compared to other popular games like Lost Ark, World of Warcraft, and Black Desert Online.
There we are,
in
baby.
contrast, Throne and Liberty's combat feels less polished and lacks the same level of excitement. The core gameplay, movement, and mechanics feel clunky, static, and repetitive. As a result, players who have experienced the superior combat systems of pure PC MMOs may find TL's combat to be underwhelming and less enjoyable, which isn't what you'd expect from a brand new MMO. Additionally, unlike many recent Korean MMO releases, Throne and Liberty went with a more traditional tab target combat system, which some people hate, but I actually think tab targeting still feels good as long as it's highly polished. World of Warcraft's
tab target can work just
targeting combat
I'm
still
not really,
feels amazing
that doesn't
even
turn
in
me off.
2024. Throne and Liberty's combat, however, feels much worse than the combat of other tab target games such as WoW, Guild Wars 2 and Arcade. This for me was the main reason I stopped being excited for TL.
There it
What's
is.
the point of playing a game with inferior combat to WoW when I can just play WoW? Throne and Liberty has
Oh my god, why are we comparing it to WoW? WoW came out in like 2004. Like, what are we doing?
pay-to-win elements. Whilst people might debate the extent of its pay-to-win nature,
Yo, Cannon, you're huge, man. Congratulations, buddy. Bro, Cannon has been like the Throne and Liberty guy. I kind of feel bad for him because, you know, he's in BDO for a while, right? So I've talked to him. He's been on this Throne and Liberty arc since he left BDO like 5 months ago, 6 months ago. He's basically just been he's trying to make himself the Throne and Liberty guy because I think he thought it would be bigger and better than it is. And then it came out. It's garbage. Okay. Like, to put all your eggs in that basket, I feel kind of bad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's clear that spending money gives players
an
advantage. For example, the recent introduction of a monthly fee pack allows players to progress faster than those who don't pay for it.
He's like narcoversing it. Yes, narcoverse, you know, the like Ashes of Never Being Created. He's like the creator for a game that's not even out yet. It's the same thing.
At this point, MMO players are so used to Korean devs slowly dialing up a game's monetization from slightly pay to win at the
Hey, whoa, whoa. What are you showing this? What are you showing this Merv's palette?
start to giga pay to win a year later, that people just don't trust these companies anymore. Throne and Liberty already suffers from a significant botting problem, which is made even worse by the autoplay mechanics that were initially part of the game. And this issue,
yeah, this is a serious issue. The botting thing is my primary concern.
Is likely to become much worse.
If open world PvP is supposed to be a Zerg fest and we're just dealing with bots all the time, like what's
worse on the North American and European servers. In Korea, regulations require that players must have a Korean SSN and Korean mobile number to create an MMORPG account, which massively helps control botting and limit the number of players willing to attempt hacking or bug abuse. The NA and EU
Bro, this is cooked. This is absolutely cooked. Like, look at these things moving around.
And as we've seen from recent Western MMO releases published by Amazon Game Studios, games like New World and Lost Ark, Western MMO players have no problems botting and cheating. In fact, there's quite a large financial incentive to do.
Dude, it's like that in every game. The developers make something and all the players are like, can we cheat it and how? You know what I mean? Like, that's how it is. Sometimes we don't even get content released because they're like, it's too easily exploitable. Some of the coolest sounding content in MMO history were all just scrapped because people would just immediately exploit it.
Do it when you consider how much money gold farmers can make. I can definitely see botting being rampant on NAEU, which could create a wider gap between players willing to cheat and those willing to...
What is going on with this? Dude, look at this. Average Asmongold enjoyer, guys. Average Asmongold enjoyer. That's me right there, baby. We're all in the chat. Look at that shit, bro.
to play by the rules. Around a month after the Korean release of TL, many players started to complain that the game had a lack of content. This kind of surprised me, considering the game has been in development for 10 years and is designed to be more of a sandbox, which typically does keep players entertained for longer. Perhaps the players complaining about this were PvE players, I'm not sure. And finally, the leveling experience is quite boring and repetitive. I myself just didn't find the early game experience as addictive and satisfying as other MMOs.
There it is!
Quests were unintuitive, buggy, and poorly designed.
That's what I felt too. When I play a new MMO, I want to be gripped. You know, the story doesn't necessarily have to be gripping, but like I have to look around and be like, wow, what's over there? You know what I mean? And then you go over there. You know what I mean? Like, or it's got to be something, whether it's the combat or the world or the storyline, something has to grip you. And I just didn't see anything in TNL gripping somebody.
If players have a miserable
I want some orangutan girlfriend style grip. You know what I'm saying?
experience whilst leveling, they're not going to stick around to see the end game, even if that end game is good. Another way to gauge the potential success of Throne and Liberty is by looking at the release metrics from Korea, as they provide the only objective data available for analysis. It's worth noting that Throne and Liberty has been in development for over a decade now, likely costing upwards of $100 million in development costs.
Oh no.
Also, being the successor to Lineage 2, expectations were naturally high. Many anticipated that TL would instantly inherit the success and popularity of its predecessor. However, this wouldn't appear to be the case. Throne and Liberty only reached rank 20th in Korean PC bangs, basically gaming cafes, in the first few days after its Korean launch. And this is the time when you'd expect an MMO to reach a peak.
Because it's not going up from there, guys.
In player count.
It's not going up from there.
Lose players quite dramatically in the following months. During this time, it ranked just above Lineage 2, but
You spend $100 million trying to outdo your previous game. Congratulations. You succeeded. So proud of you.
trailed behind Lineage 1,
Hey, wait, where's BDO at?
Aeon, World of Warcraft, and Lost Ark. For comparison, similar games like Lost
Failed to be
Ark and
Lineage.
Black Desert reached the top 5 around the time of their respective releases. The fact that NCSoft didn't disclose any specific metrics for Throne and Liberty in their latest investor earnings report also paints a really bad picture.
Yeah, it's not
Imagine
good.
you're an NCSoft investor.
Yeah.
There's a massive release that's just came out, 10 years in development, and the company isn't bragging about how many players this
Yeah, 10 years in development and the graph is going down. What the?
game has after such high expectations. Guess what I'm doing with my NCSoft stock?
Dump it.
NCSoft did, however, make a statement regarding the game's reception in Korea. They mentioned that many users criticised Throne and Liberty for being a typical NCSoft game. Interestingly, they also noted that the feedback from global users during closed beta tests
During the conference call, we will be releasing Battle Crash, Blade and Soul, and Throne and Liberty globally this year, and we promise to release Aeon 2 Project L next year. We're porting the existing IPs to consoles so we can generate more revenue. In regards to the business model, a little more about TL. In Korea, many users criticize TL for being the typical NCSoft game. However, when you look at the results in CBT and technical tests on TL across global users, there was no criticism based on that typical bias that we've seen in Korea. No, we're going to have our own bias, though.
and technical tests
No,
didn't
we're
align
gonna
with
have
the
our own
criticisms
bias, though.
typically seen in Korea. This discrepancy in feedback could suggest that the game may have a different reception among international players compared to Korean players, but maybe that's just cope from NC.
Jay? That's not Jay. That's not Jay. That's not Jay. He's older. That's older Jay. That's Jay in like 10 years.
Soft.
That's Jay in like 10 years after he served his term as president. We're good.
A few months after I first played TL, I felt a bit puzzled by the lack of buzz surrounding the game.
Jay at home. That's
Curious, I checked into various Korean streaming platforms and message boards to gauge the community's response. To my surprise, considering it was a fresh release, I encountered somewhat of a
We're combing the desert.
desolate landscape. On Twitch, the game was virtually non-existent, which could be a
Is that true? Is it still non-existent? Let me see. Throne and Liberty. Oh my goodness. Oh my, oh no. We all know what's going on with that situation. Holy shit. Front row is 56 viewers. Well, TNL is going to be a hell of a ride, boys. Hell of a ride.
Attributed to the platform withdrawing from Korea. However, even on Africa,
because Korean streamers can't really be on Twitch. I don't know, man. A lot of Western players are playing on Korea.
TV, Korean's main streaming provider, the scene was rather quiet.
There it is. That immediately disproven. Immediately
Message
disproven.
boards were also filled with doomers. It seemed like there was a prevailing sense of skepticism and disappointment among players. Typically, newly released MMORPGs enjoy a much longer honeymoon phase before players begin to lose interest. However, Throne and Liberty appeared to be struggling right out of the gate, which is undoubtedly concerning and not a promising sign for the future.
No, it is not.
Another concerning event that happened recently was the news that the director of the game, An Jong-wook, has stepped down from his position. This
I can't imagine why. We released the game. How much money did we make?
resulted in some reorganization of the game.
Out of here.
With executive director Choi Moon-young, who's been involved with the project since the early 2010s, taking over as producer. The reasons behind An's resignation hasn't been disclosed, however the change in leadership doesn't seem to have affected NCSoft's plans to launch Throne and Liberty globally, with Amazon Games still targeting a release of September 17th, 2024. So who is Throne and Liberty actually designed for, and will it be?
I think it'll always have a dedicated player base, but it'll sit down more like ESO is. That's my prediction for it.
Success or failure? Fundamentally, Throne and Liberty is a very niche MMO.
It'll be lower than ESO and Guild Wars 2.
Not very solo friendly. It's heavily targeting the kind of MMO player that enjoys large-scale guild-focused games such as Lineage 2, and combat-wise, it lacks the depth and smoothness of games like World of Warcraft or Black Desert Online.
What was that last line again? I just wanted to make sure that I heard you correctly. Let's just run that back.
Large-scale guild-focused games such as Lineage 2, and combat-wise, it lacks the depth and smoothness of games like World of Warcraft or Black Desert Online.
I'm sorry, did you just put World of Warcraft next to Black Desert Online for combat smoothness? What? What are we talking? Wait, what?
My hot take is this: the combat and gameplay in Throne and Liberty is the single biggest reason why the game is likely to fail. While
combat is smooth, yeah, but Lost Ark, right? If you're gonna put you have action combat from BDO, right? And you're gonna put another game next to BDO and say, hey, this game also has good combat. You're putting Lost Ark right next to it, right? But like we're talking, like BDO and WoW don't even belong in the same sentence.
In the West.
Yeah, it's smooth. You press 1 and then press 2. Exactly.
If you're going to release a tab target MMO in 2024, the gameplay needs to, at the very least, be as good as World of Warcraft. Why do we have MMOs releasing today with worse gameplay than stuff that was released 20 years ago?
It's insane.
Well, isn't it obvious? The mobile MMO market is so huge nowadays that every MMO needs to be designed to eventually have mobile crossplay. This means limiting the amount of abilities on your hotbar, slowing things down, janky ass movement, and other various
BDO Mobile does a good job. I don't know what you're talking about. What are we even talking about?
In terms of systems, graphics, and content, Throne and Liberty sounds like an incredible MMO on paper, and I genuinely believe if the devs purely focused on making this the best PC MMO possible, then the game could have been incredible. Instead, the devs made the mistake of trying to appeal to all platforms, PC, console, and mobile, which just results in a mediocre feeling product. In hindsight, they should have taken the Black Desert Online route, where you've got 3 separate versions of the game optimized specifically for each platform.
Actually showing BDO Mobile POG. And it concerns me though that he said 3 different platforms. We have mobile and we have PC. Console are not human beings that have rights.
You've got BDO PC, BDO Mobile, and BDO Console, each of which are slightly different and have had relative success in maintaining their own player base over a number of years. The problem of designing an MMO that's one shared server for PC, console, and mobile is that the gameplay potential is capped to the maximum potential of the most inferior system. In this case, mobile. So even though Throne and Liberty does indeed have beautiful graphics on PC, with a massive open world,
I play console, that's mean, but you didn't say it wasn't true.
You still can't shake the feeling deep down that gameplay-wise, it feels like a mobile game, and for that reason alone, despite many other contributing factors, is why I personally believe that Throne and Liberty will definitely not be considered a success, and is most likely to be another MMO failure. I hope I'm wrong though. On paper, this is the exact type of MMO that I love to play.
Same.
And to be fair, even if it's trash long term, it'll probably still be really fun at launch like most MMOs are.
There it is.
But that's it for this video. What are your predictions about the future of Throne and Liberty? Do you disagree with my assessment that the gameplay is...
No, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go. Wow, look at this, bro. The ratio on this is kind of crazy. I'm definitely gonna give it a go. I'll review it myself when it comes out in the West. It'll be good. It'll be good.